Hey, everybody, welcome to Epic Time. It is day 11 of the Mighty Hoka Hey. I'm in my traveling office, pulled over in, looks like I'm between Vivian and Winter. Seems like a pretty legit place to be. I have no idea. I just realized I needed to get some fuel. My light had been on for a hot minute, so I just whipped in and pulled over. So let this get rolling here, and I can get this shared properly. I sent Gavin a link, so I'm hoping he's going to be able to come on. I forgot I can't send it to a kid, so I had to resend it to his mom. So I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, oops. I just think of him as being all grown up, but I guess kids and Mester, creepy old guys in their 50s can't just be randomly sending kids uh, things like that. So let me say day 11, share now. We're good to go. Oh, I heard a click. I heard a click. Let's see if we got Gavin on board with us. Yes.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, my man, how you doing?
Good.
Good, man. Like, let's see. Did you get a haircut?
Look at that spiff and span.
You looking good.
Uh-huh.
You must be getting ready for school and all the chicks you're gonna see. Is that what you got a haircut for?
Dirty girls.
No.
It's for Bugs Bunny.
Oh yeah. I mean, do I need a haircut too?
How are you?
I
You
had.
look like a zebra.
I look like a zebra. I don't know. I was either going to grow my hair out or cut it short. One or two. I kind of feel like I look like Bert from Bert and Ernie, so it's a little tough. Are you literally rolling around while you got your phone on?
Yeah, huh?
That's pretty funny. Like, you're looking pretty good. What do you think of this Mighty Hoka Hey we got going on? I'm gonna share it to the screen here. What do you think of this?
Is it good?
So have you been watching it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who you been cheering for?
Iceman, but he out.
Yeah, that happens. Iceman's bike was looking for a little attention, so it was feeling a little bad. But I tell you what, Nancy's down here killing it. She's doing really good. I was watching. She just crossed into Alabama. She's moving along pretty good too. Because I was watching her when I was just getting on. She had just crossed over. I don't know wherever it was, but she crossed over into Alabama, so she's kicking along pretty good. Hey, hey, goat. While you're still there, I gotta ask you. Somebody wanted to know how you got your name, Goat.
Because my favorite farm animal is a goat.
Is a goat, and how'd you get the? It wasn't simply because you're the greatest of all time. You had the goat before you were the greatest.
It is both.
Oh, it's both. But the goat came, and then you became the greatest, huh?
And look who we got here.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me get rid of that map, and then why don't you show me who you got with you?
Look who we got here.
Hey, what's
Iceman,
happening?
there. Are you having a monster party at the house? I'm glad I was. I was
We're
glad I
having a
was talking.
monster party. Look, yeah, he see, I never come empty-handed.
Yeah, that's how you stay on a kid's good side. You come bearing gifts of sugar and sweetness.
You already ate all the good ones.
You bring gifts, but you eat all the good ones.
Give me them blue ones.
All right, yeah. Did I eat all the good ones? No, I only licked half of these.
Well, that's not bad then. Who else you
No,
got
it
there?
is. Don't say that it is.
Who else is here, Gavin?
You want to see who else you got there? I know where Gavin lives. I would say right about there.
So who's
Looks
here,
pretty.
Gavin? What are we having for dinner?
I'm not eating.
You're not eating, but what are we eating? Steak and mashed potatoes and a bunch of veggies.
Well, why don't you whip the camera over and show your friends you got there so I can talk to them quick.
Do we need to turn it?
Yeah, if you turn it sideways, it works better. You can see. Yeah,
There.
now you guys just jump side. It didn't turn. It's too late. He's either got it locked or it's not turning. I think he's got his phone locked.
Okay.
So it's all right. Either unlock it and turn it or whatever. But how you girls doing?
Good since we're here.
Yeah. So you got a new game plan?
Yeah. headed back to Woodstock in the morning.
That's awesome. I don't know if people heard that or not, but they decided to go see our boy Gavin, one of our heroes that all these monsters are riding for. And due to some work constraints, they have to get back. So they got to head to Woodstock, see some people there, and then they're got to get back to their lives. So, I think that's happening all over. I don't know if you saw Facebook, but there's all kinds of people heading out. And, Hyde is another one that put a video out. He's going to ride as long as he can, but, he's got a legit job to get back to. So, you're not going to be alone, and there's no shame in your game. So congratulations on running a good ride and getting as far as you did in the conditions you were under. I know it's hot as hell down there right now, right?
Yeah, I think
It's a tint warm.
yeah, it was like 103. Yeah, we saw 103 on the way over.
I got 106.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not built for it. I mean, I'm just not.
And that just makes it miserable. It wears you down. And a lot of people have, ride with gear on. And, we were talking about it last night's show or yesterday's show. It's like, I don't ride with gear when it's hot. Like I would rather take my chances. It just wears me down, and I just can't do it. So,
yeah, and I mean, we were stopping every. Will you turn that down? We were stopping every probably hour and a half just to cool off, and we found a church. We sat there for about 3 hours and just made the decision that this is what we needed to do to get home to our families.
Yeah, and you can't. When you're doing that, you can't stop every hour and a half. If you're stopping every hour and a half, you're now going to be on the road for, another 2 weeks. It's just like once that time comes, and you're stopping every hour and a half because your body's telling you you're done.
Yep.
And you're done. So you either got to stop every hour and a half, or you have to push through it and risk great penalty for that. And it's like it's not worth it. So I'm super glad you guys are pulling the pin. I'm super glad you have to get back to work because it's two less of my girls out there that I have to worry about. And I'm sure your legs are so damn hairy. It's almost embarrassing to be anywhere. So, it'll be good for you to get the weed whacker out. So I hope Gavin has a weed whacker and he can fire that thing up.
I'm not shaving until I get home.
Yeah. Oh my God. And then you should the ride to the home, like you're going to Woodstock first, like the home is above.
You'll be able to braid it.
Yeah, just letting everybody know I won't be at Woodstock because there's going to be an angry gorilla there, little monkey around. So I'm confident Gavin, put some wax on her legs.
I mean, I have to tell you, like last night when we were sleeping last night, I had my fan on and I had nothing else on, and I woke up one time and I was completely drenched. And we got up this morning and we just sat and looked at each other, and I was just like, I can't do this. I mean, it's one more day of trying to push it and then another day of trying to push it. And we've been talking about it for probably about 2 days when we started hitting this heat that just we're not built for this. And it's pretty intense. And I have to say, even what we did do, absolutely amazing. I mean, that's memories for us forever. 100%. And it is what it is. So I am going home safe to my family.
Yeah, I don't blame it at all. I was telling another rider today that felt like they had like disappointed or let themselves down or whatever it was, or they had failed. I forget the wording it was, that it was a failure. And I said, there's no journey in life that's a failure unless you don't learn anything from it. If you don't learn anything from it and you just blame something and everybody else on everything and that's it, then it can be a failure. But I told them that there's no journey that's a failure if you get something out of it that's good and you learn something from it and can move on and get better, do better, or just come to the conclusion that, this particular style of riding, these conditions aren't for me, and that's, some people can be like, oh, okay, I got to work on this. But other people are flat out realize that I can't take 17,000 corners in a 2-week period. Like they just can't. They can't ride that level. And there's no shame in that. That's what I can't, you can't put that into words enough. There's no shame in that. There's no anything. Like it's not, this is not for everybody, and everybody's not going to excel at it, and everybody's not going to suck at it. You have your moments of greatness and you have your moments of suck. And and I'm glad that your moments of suck never turned into an oh shit moment. And now you can just get up to Woodstock, get the weed whip out and clean up the legs and get that thing going. Otherwise, you could, if you want people to leave you alone, put some shorts on and ride to Woodstock. No guys are going to bother you.
She's promising a hairy hug for you whenever she sees you.
Yeah, no thanks, man. Like I don't need a little the German girl hug with the hairy armpits. I shall high five my girls at the finish line. There you go.
From a distance.
Yeah.
Stay away. This is my no hairy square.
Yeah. I mean, good luck to everybody. And I was thinking on the way over here, I mean, don't push yourself to the point because you think you need to get to the next checkpoint, because every day is just going to get harder. The less sleep you get and the heat, and it's just going to, and it's going to cause an accident. I mean, I told Jess, there's a few times today, even I'm like, I have to stop because it's just like you're in a sauna and then you just want to go to sleep. And I'm not willing to even take that chance.
No, and I did laugh. I did laugh because I was telling my wife what I said when I called you, and just people know, like I called Frosty and she says, "Do you miss me?" And I said, "Yes, I want you to come home now." I said, "I'm done having my girls on the road. I can't take this stress anymore." And so I want you girls to come home. I thought that was pretty funny, and I'm happy that you are, because it's going to be a fun time up at Woodstock, and like if we win the lottery, then we can stay on the road forever. But like people have to get back and go to work, and that's just reality. And like I don't care what anybody that says otherwise is retired or wealthy. Like if they say, "Oh, you got to finish it no matter what," okay, that's great. Pay my mortgage and I shall stay on the road until I'm done. Like it's just not. It's not realistic that everybody can do that, especially when I look at these numbers. You look at the riders, and there's hardly any riders that would have ridden in 16, 18, and since then, there has not been a challenge since 18 that wasn't fairly easy to attain the finish line. It's workable. People had problems or bike issues or health issues or something, but you look back at the parties and they were well attended. 2/3 of the people were back by the day of the party. And so that's what a lot of people expected on this ride, because you look at all these numbers, and that's when they started. Hippie would know otherwise. That's a 16 number, I believe, the end of 16. So he would have been in 16. I know he was in 18. So they would remember that. But in 18, I've said it before, there was not that many people at the party. And, I looked at this route and it reminded me of that, just harder and longer. Like they made it back to how it was before, as in technical, and the directions are hard. You got to pay attention to them, that kind of thing. But they also added 1,000 or more miles. And if you add, 1,400 miles, that's 2 days for the top tier riders to ride. So you're adding 2 extra days for the top tier riders, 3 days, for the mid, and then if people are done, tired, is shot out, you're adding 4 extra days of riding if you're talking 1,400 miles for some of these riders, and that's a lot to add on to an already challenging route.
Well, we figured we had at least 1,400 left, plus the next leg 3,000. Yeah, it's not feasible.
Yeah, it's not, and that's fine. It's just not. That's just life. So I'm glad you're doing the safe thing. I'm glad you're doing the responsible thing. I don't want to see you get hurt. I don't want to see you get fired. We got a lot of riding to do, and you gotta have it. You gotta have a job, and you gotta be healthy. So that's just the way it is. So I'm glad it worked out.
Well, we're gonna enjoy a home cooked meal.
Awesome, and a shower.
Yeah.
He's like, don't forget that one.
The shower and a razor. I don't know if you need a razor or a fillet knife, to start with that hair. It's like just start shaving it off, and I don't know if you scrape it. If you got to scrape that nasty hair off, I don't know how it works, but
all right. So, anyways,
I did want to share my meal that I think Gavin will be pretty impressed with, because I thought as long as I'm in South Dakota, I got to go straight redneck with my dinner. So, Gavin, I thought you'd be pretty impressed with this. You see that? Pickled. Yeah, it's pickled Polish sausage.
Oh, eat it. I want to watch you throw up.
I did eat them, and they're really good. So it's just pickles.
Eat them all. Chug the juice.
If I eat them all and chug the juice, I'll be I'll have to stop and use the restroom very quickly. So I don't know if I want to do that. So, and Gavin, I talked to, I didn't talk to him. I sent English a message trying to get a picture of the bear, but I haven't heard back from him yet. So I don't know if he has a picture of the bear. He might have tumbled. The bear might have ran off. I have no idea. So, but there's this new bike. What do you think of that Pan Am he's got?
Cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I think he's going to ride a wheelie across the finish line. And, I don't know if you remember, but he hit a moose in 2024 in Alaska. And now he hits a bear. So everybody else hits like coyotes and deer. But English goes for the exotic animals. So I don't know what he's going to biff in 2028. I think it'll probably be like a zebra or a giraffe or something like that will be escaped, and he'll whack some crazy exotic animal. So, I don't know what's happened there. And you know what Dylan was doing today? Or yesterday? Dylan was doing a burnout on his chopper, and he got second place in a burnout contest where he had to roast his whole wheel off. I thought that was pretty funny. All right, Goat, you got anything else to add? Because I got to get to talking about where people are placing. Anything you want to tell anybody? Anything you want to tell anybody? Going once?
I'm almost 12.
Yeah, what day is your birthday on?
August 18th in 6 days.
6 days. I can't wait. What are you going to do for your birthday?
I'm gonna eat snacks.
What do you want for your birthday? What kind of gifts are you looking for? Nothing?
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, I'm going to talk to everybody about this Hoka Hey, Gab. Thanks for coming on.
Bye.
For dinner. All right. See you, pal. Say bye.
Bye, everybody.
All right. See you later. Hey, today is Gromlin's birthday. I forgot about that. He's 25 today, so the little Gromlin is 25, and he's working out at Sturgis, so that's pretty good. This is a great story. Smokey and the Bandit had about their ride, and Bandit biffed it, went into the ditch, and had some people help him out. It's a long story. If you go to his Facebook, you can see it. but some, I don't know, lack of a better term, some local folks, hillbillies, mountain people were there, and they helped get the bike out of the ditch and lifted it out by hand, part of it, pulled it out, really worked the problem. And they got his bike on a trailer, got it back to his house. And the people were very, not. And at the end of it, Smokey gave him some money to for thanking him, helping him out, getting it on the trailer, getting it out of the ditch, really saving him. And the guy was just, really taken back. And it was like one of those things where the Lord works in mysterious ways, because here's a guy who was really in need of some help, but he stops to help somebody else, helps him out, brings him to his home, offers him things. And, and then the goodness of Smokey's heart, he just gave him some cash at the end, and then found out that this guy was really down and was really looking for that blessing. So it was really cool. It's a great story. Smokey can tell it all to you, and it does bring tears to your eyes, that's for sure. But I'm a firm believer that things happen for a reason. They happen, you're put where you need to be when you need to be there. So, that financial help to that guy is not going to end, Smoking the Bandits Day. They can afford to pay the guy to help them like you would a tow truck or anybody else. And yet it was a huge blessing to the guy that helped them. So those are the stories that come out of a ride like this that are absolutely amazing. And, you got to hear them sometimes. And I don't want to go great detail, but maybe I'll get Smokey on here tomorrow and he can tell the story, because it's really heartwarming to see. And it's just, you wouldn't think that comes from going in the ditch. Bandit goes in the ditch. Oh, that sucks. Teetering on an oh shit moment. But instead, it's a blessing to somebody else. So she didn't get hurt. Nothing terrible happened other than some time in a ditch and a little banged up bike. Nothing that's going to alter their lives at all. But they got to touch somebody else's life and really make a difference in it. So, things happen. It's a great story. It's a great ending to a story. And we have his address. And I'm personally going to send him a little thank you note for helping my people out. And I want to throw a little cash in the envelope and just send it to him, and continue to have a little blessing for me. That area of the country has fought drug addiction and businesses and industries that have closed and really left it pretty desolate and kind of forgotten about. And this, these people are trying to get by without resorting to all of the bad that can be around there. So I don't know. It was pretty cool. So we'll get to the leaders here. Here's Yos here, out here killing. He looks like he's right on the state line, but he's not crossing yet. That is such a cool road right there where he's at. That was on another Hoka Hey, and that is a crazy road. A lot of fun. I believe that was 2020 when we went through there, but I know right where that is because I just went down it last year on a ride, and it's really a nice ride. But anyhow, there you see Yos. These other people are not the ones right behind him, but there's Pee Wee there. And this is the amount of time that, English lost right here. So that is a lot. And I think he was back on the road the way it looked. Yep, there he is. So he's got to go backtrack and, hopefully gets up there where he had his little mishap. And is it round 2 with the wildlife happens to be going back kind of the same time, but got everybody else coming in the checkpoint, banging around and heading back out. We got Beastman there, and who else is hiding back here? Want to see who the pink or the gold one is. All right, so they're all riding together. They're Frankie and let's go to the other side, down south. And I want to tell you, the weather is definitely impacting some of these people. If you're not fortunate enough to, be where the weather's at, it can be pretty rough. I'll show you the country here just so you get an impact. So you see where everybody's at right here, because the weather's right here. I'm going to give you another screen to show you that. And let's see if I can share the screen. Oops, wrong one. Share screen. Here's the weather right here for the radar. So this really from Pikeville all the way across Kentucky, all the way up towards St. Louis, right in the center, right there. That is all going to be pretty rough, especially right here. So that's going to be pretty rough. And why isn't my screen moving? Not letting me touch it. Don't know. There we go. But you can see this whole area up in New York, Pennsylvania border up there. That's all a little bit on the rough side. So keep an eye on that, because the poor people that hit that are really going to be roughing it for a hot minute. So, kind of is what it is. And there's not much they can do about it. Back to the track and see where they're at and where people are. Doom, doom, doom. So many clicks. You can't just have everything ready to, so you can't share with multiple screens at once. You got to stop sharing, go back to it. At least that's how I have to do it, because I'm not a tech savvy king nerd yet. But anyhow, this whole part right here, these people are going to be getting it. Dirty Dan got out of it. It looks like he's going to be underneath that. He should be good. But really, right from where Ren is right now, Brian, they're going to be getting it all the way across. All the way across to right about here, right? These guys, Yost might be out of it right there. He's going to just be skirting it. So that's going to be a little tight. I don't know. That weather might impact him. He's going to be tight. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it or not and miss it. I hope so. Run into that, but that's right on the border. I mean, right where he's at, he's heading. Looks like he's going to be heading right into it. But that could break apart, fall apart. But the weather has a lot to do with, how people are doing, how fast they're going, what kind of time they're making, when they got to stop for the night. I mean, if you stop for the night 4 hours early because there's a nasty storm, it's hard to make up 4 hours when you have riders like Dirty Dan, Nancy, Yost, Ren, Pee Wee. I mean, it's just hard to make up time on people like that. So it's doesn't happen too easy. Let's see. We can see how Roadrunner's doing. Roadrunner. Should know these numbers all by heart now, but they all kind of blend together. Arkansas. Let's see if he's running alone. I've been driving. Driving and getting tires done. I had to get 4 tires put on my trailer. When I say put on, I had to buy 2 and use my 2 spares. I had to change 4 tires and get all that ready, grease everything, and then take off. But it did start raining after I was done, so that was kind of nice. But there's Teeter up here. It's so weird when you ride like this and right next to you is a highway, a major highway you could be doing 95 miles an hour on, no problem. But nope, you're right there. But this is country that makes for very good time. Like, you're going to cruise right through it. If you look, you got to chill out, slow down when you hit these towns. But anytime you see grids of farmland, whatever road he's going, whichever way, you see that there's no sharp, crazy corners. It's just gentle roads. Teeter's ridden roads like that all day. Not a ton of danger. There's no bear going to run out in front of him. It's just farmland. You got to watch the deer, things like that. But off over here, more wooded. This you can see just by the grid. It's much different. And there's Roadrunner as well. Same thing. See the roads here going down? These are just nice, gentle roads. They put a highway through all these fields. They get from point A to point B at some time in life, but everything else is going to be cut right up around sections of land. So they're going to be quick. Let's see. Somebody's got a question here. Yeah, the weather in Indiana, Illinois, it's been rough the last 2 days. So, as they come in, it's gonna be a beat down. And you get hit with weather, it sucks. You just never know who it's gonna be. 1350 was riding. All right. And I know, Thule, how you feeling today after your little tumble yesterday where you wrecked your bike and took a little tumble down the road? I hope today you're not feeling too bad, because it's usually a little bit later is when you start feeling sore. Here's Rider 1350 in Ohio. It's so funny because you look at this, you're like, oh, look at how nice it looks. That's not the case, but here is mom and brother. They're still getting after it. 1350 is hanging with them. So I'm glad they get going. I'm glad that, your brother's still able to stay with mom and keep her motivated. And here comes Hyde right with them. That's pretty awesome. Hyde is just behind Gypsy and Subs there and 1350. So he's going to be coming up on him. He's motivated. He wants to get as far as he can before he's got to turn and get back to work. So he's trying to get there, trying to do it all, and it's tough road to keep going. Raindrop. If we can hit Raindrop up, I'm so happy to see her doing so good. I love Raindrop. She's a very good friend of mine. Another monster who's riding. Another one of the ladies that I, naturally worry about. And she is at Southern Thunder right now at the checkpoint, chilling out, getting whatever she's got to get, signing in, getting her directions. I hope she's not there long. I don't think she'll be there long. She gets on it. She gets after it. She's got a good chance of, getting in there by the party, by the end of the day. If she leaves tonight, I think she'll make it Thursday, Friday, Saturday is going to be a tough run. The weather stays good. They could come close to 1,000 miles a day to get in there by Saturday. But anybody at the checkpoint right now or close to it, in my opinion, they're going to be hard pressed to make it to the party, hard pressed to get there by Saturday. And I feel like anybody around the checkpoint right now is going to come in on Sunday. Doing 1,000 miles a day is very hard coming out of that heat they had all through the South. Their body is wore down, blood's thick, not flowing so fast, not getting replenished like it needs to. So everything is a little sluggish. So doing 1,000 miles a day coming off of all this is very tough. Any one of these riders could do 1,000 miles a day at the beginning, but they'd wear themselves out if they did that for 14 days straight. I mean, if it was possible, everybody'd be in, at the checkpoint by now. If 1,000 miles a day for every day was possible on this route, we would have 8 people coming in today. It's roughly 11,000 miles. 11, I can do math and somewhat pretty good, and know that they'd be coming in today. That's just not the case. This route is too technical. The weather has not been, a cakewalk picnic. I did a ride in the spring this year, and we traveled a lot of miles, but we didn't have to travel in this 100-degree heat. I hit the desert in Nevada. It was like drizzly and a little cool. not cold, but a little cool. And I had never been in the desert in Nevada and had it be like damp, like a little drizzly in the air. And so I thought that was just odd, but it was super nice because I didn't have 3 days of wearing me out as I went through that desert. So, oh man, so that's pretty cool. So I think anybody that passed that checkpoint right now, if they're at the checkpoint right now or before, anywhere around there, then it's a little different. So, anybody's well on their way to it is going to make it. They're going to make it. There's going to be a bunch of people, like people online are like, oh, nobody's going to make the party. Nobody's going to be there. That's not the case. I mean, there's all kinds of people that are ripping along good. You still have tomorrow, and Friday and into Saturday. I mean, there's no way that Dirty Dan, Nancy, Rolo, these riders are just way too good. There's something would have to happen. The bikes would have to break down or some crazy thing you can't predict. Other than that, they're rolling way too good. They're covering their ground and they're keeping it up. And when it gets to the end, they're gonna get that next level boost and be able to take off. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch them. And tomorrow we'll have a count on how many people riding for Mile Monsters have not been able to keep going. So that happens, and I like it. Here we got Mark Campbell, Soup. He is a BMW rider, does not even ride, your V-twins, American-made V-twins on a regular basis. He bought a motorcycle when he was accepted into the challenge a day before. It wasn't quite a day, but might as well have been a day. But here's somebody who rides so much. It's riding's riding. He just, he rides all the time, both him and his wife. So now he just gets on a bike, new to him, and takes off. And, he's riding by himself, managing the directions and everything else. And he's having a great journey, and he's going to have a great story to tell when it's done. Like, yeah, I got accepted 2 weeks beforehand, bought a bike, got it equipped, put my stickers on it, showed up, signed in, and took off. And that's the end of it. He's got a great smile, and there's nothing that you can throw at him that he's not going to be kind of chuckling and laughing about, on his way. He'll just smile and, oh, look, the weather's bad. Okay, well, I'll go ride. It's crazy. The Crazy Eights, I don't know what happened, but he is not in. We looked at his up yesterday, and he's out. So I don't know what happened. But as you see, not there. That's the easiest way to find out if somebody is there. You can just check it out. And, a lot of times, like Gopher, they got his tracker turned off. I knew he was going home, but a lot of people were asking because he was banging across the country. And, you'll see some of these, like obviously Classic Rider, that is going to be shut off. This one right here, Street, that's going to be shut off. There's some of these people, these outlying places, they're just not a place for that anybody should be. So they're going home, or they chose to go home. And somebody told me that this section up here, they're not even having them do it. But I see 2 riders are up there, and that's kind of the tail end of that group. So I don't know what happened to that. Everybody else is kind of already through there. Anybody that's right in here is like, I guess you could just go around Lake Michigan and come right back to Woodstock if you want. You don't have to continue on. And unless there's people that are just going to be, I'm finishing this regardless. And if that's the case, then God bless them, because they're going to have one hell of a ride if they're already 2 weeks in and they're just coming through here to get the rest of the way. That's a long ways. Yeah, I think Walter moved in to the dealership. I think he's got his mail transferred there. Either that, I was actually going to text him and didn't. I was going to see if he's just hanging out there or if he left his bike there. I thought there might be a chance that his bike is at Appleton Harley and he's sitting, has it in the parking lot still. So I don't know what they're waiting on. I heard it was a tire at first, but he's still there. I know he works for a living. He does not have unlimited time off. So I wasn't sure if he didn't bail and his bike's sitting there with his tracker on it, but he might be on his way back to New Jersey to get back to work. So I'm not sure about that at all. But Dirty Dan, right next to him, they go have lunch together or dinner. They're going to be coming right by him. And, it's fun to see that. See, like these roads here, as you can see, the road he's on, he's going to make good time. That's not crazy at all. That's mountainous there, but it's nothing. I mean, he's going to rip, and you can kind of tell when you watch him, it's much easier than the twisties they were on before. All right, anybody else got anybody they want to check on, want to see? I do got another picture I want to show. Let's see. This is Jug yesterday, smiling and have a good time. I just saw a picture. When I see that picture of him, I picture, talking to his mom and hearing stories about his dad who passed away a couple years ago while out at Sturgis. And when I look at this picture, it looks so much like his dad that is just crazy, except his dad was really big, like a big buff dude. But if you could put 50 pounds on Jug here, he would look just like his dad. So his dad had a couple of great stories and a couple of good lines, and it's kind of fun. Kind of fun to see him shine up there. I got a bunch of good pictures, but Chase happened to be with Jug and George while they were, riding, spend the night, packing up in the morning. So that's awesome. As everybody knows, we're doing a little documentary on this ride and some of the riders that are riding in it. We just wanted to capture. We had 60 riders riding for Mile Monsters, so we just wanted to capture it and have a keepsake for the riders to just cherish and hold on to, and know that they were a part of this crazy journey and something to hold on to. So I'm looking forward to seeing that when it's done. All right, we got Taco. I've got to check on my boy Taco. See who he's riding with now. He's in Louisiana. Like, he's a Southern boy. Him and Rob are still cool because they became friends through Mile Monsters, and they're both really good dudes. And it's always fun when you can meet somebody and kind of jive with and kind of connect with and hang out with. And age doesn't matter. Taco is like old enough to be his dad, so he's a great and he might not be quite that old, but I like to give him a little hard time. But anyhow, they're two riders and they're having a good time. And I don't know, Rob's doing really good down south. He's up there, with the Yankees, and he's down there riding with, a Southern boy in the heat, and he's hanging right with them. So he's doing pretty good, because Louisiana, I think, is god awful in the summer because it's hot and it's humid. Everything is slow, including the people at the gas stations. Everything you do is like, really slow and really boring. And you're in a hurry, it just drives you crazy. So, no thanks. But anyhow, they're getting through it, so they're doing good. All right, and I got to check on Len, 1243. He was doing really good when he's not cutting wood and doing all that stuff. He's in Oklahoma. There he is right there. Oh man, he's got a beautiful road, but what you don't notice here, let's see, it's a little bit south of there. Yeah, it's right down here. It's really hilly and mountainous and crazy. So, but he's in a beautiful place right there. That Broken Bow, other than pretty touristy, is really a beautiful area of Oklahoma. I mean, you don't expect it, especially if you come from the west, because it looks like a desert. It looks like you're on Mars. Then all of a sudden you get to where actually you'd think you'd find humans. So that part's pretty cool. There's Ronimo. We got Brooks over there. A lot of Miller time. That's little Susan. She's like this tall. Well, she's not even that tall. She's like this tall. And she rips around pretty good. We got lots of fun stories with her. Ah, dang it. I'm not sharing the map again. I'm just talking. Let me get that out of there. Thank you for that. I'm sharing the map on my screen. I can see it fine. So I'm glad somebody comments on there. There's Ronimo, but right here I was talking about, that's Susan right there. But this is the part of Oklahoma that they were in right there. So they're coming down right through here, right into Broken Bow. That's a beautiful area of Oklahoma. That's what I was talking about. If you come from the west, you can see all the brown out here. It's kind of desert like you're on Mars. And then you get over here where humans can actually survive. And it's really a beautiful part of the state. Really nice. So, they're enjoying the ride. That's for sure. There's Claire right there. She's riding that fat boy. All right. Let's see. I got the map sharing, so I'm pretty proud of myself. Only took somebody to tell me. I'm glad you're doing good, and yeah, of course you're bummed that you're out, and wrecking yesterday, and that hurts emotionally and physically. So I don't know which one takes longer to heal. I think sometimes the emotional part takes a long time because it's just such a kick. You put so much into it, and then in a blink of an eye, you're out. And in a blink of an eye, it's over. You can't do it. And it just sucks. There's nothing worse than that. And, so I feel for you because, you just want to go back in time. It's like getting a speeding ticket when you're a teenager. Your dad's going to whoop your ass. It's like you get that ticket and you're just like, oh, that gut feeling. And you just want to travel back in time for 2 minutes and do one thing different, but you just can't. So I did want to talk about Ridgeway. So I'm glad that we got him. Let's see where he's at, and then I'm going to talk about him. Oops, close that. There's Ridgeway right there, right behind Kendall. So they're ripping around some blue country. Let's back out and see where this is. Yeah, it's plenty warm. I was talking to him. We were trying to get him a wild ass. So far, we're having not any luck. We sent a wild ass down for Brian Kern. He lost his, and then Ridgeway had a problem with his. So, of course, we got it down there, but they didn't get it because didn't get there in time for Kern, and then it wasn't open, and they didn't leave it outside for Ridgeway. So, but I did want to mention Ridgeway because I talked to him today, and when you go back to the beginning of this, when problem child Lee got in an accident, we didn't talk about the accident a lot, and I was waiting for it to be a little more public knowledge. But when he crashed, Brian and Lee problem child were riding together, and Brian was ahead of him, and then just looked back and he wasn't there. In a blink of an eye, that 1 second, life changed, and it changed drastically for Lee. Somehow, no one knows what happened yet. The driver of the car may know. He may have the best idea, but something happened medically to his bike. Something ran out, hit him, whatever that is. Something happened and caused him to go in the other lane. And when he went in the other lane, he hit a car head on. So Lee hit a car head on, and Brian was in front of him. So he didn't see the accident happen, thank God. But as soon as he saw he wasn't there, he turned around to go back to find a driver of a car with a smashed up car, airbag deployed, stuck in the car. Brian had to pull out a knife, cut the airbag so that guy could get out, and then he had to go try to find Lee, and he located him on his bike. Somehow he landed back on the bike, but he was severely injured, and they had to help with the medical end of it. When the police got there, trauma bags and multiple tourniquets. Horrible accident. But to see that and then have to get yourself together and ride like this, it's amazing that he's doing so well, doing so good, can stay with it, can clear the mind and focus on what he's doing, because it's just not easy when you're involved with a trauma like that of a friend. They weren't riding together because of Brian's charming good looks. they're riding together because they're friends, and they were going to do the same stuff, ride fun and aggressive. So they had a perfect mix, and then tragedy struck, and he was airlifted to the hospital. He's in the hospital in Madison, Wisconsin as we speak. He's going through massive surgeries. He's damn lucky to be alive, and he's going to be in the hospital for a hot minute. I'm going to find out where the address is and everything, and we're going to get that before the end of this. This journey is there, but those risks are real, and that's legit problems that are on the road, and there's problems on the road. Like, this is not problems that, oh, you're doing this, so that's why. If you go home and ride 14,000 miles, you're going to be at risk of, injury, and that's just a fact of life. And it's something that these riders are dealing with every single day, every minute of the day, and why staying hydrated, staying rested, and doing the right thing is so important. Or in a millisecond, your life changes. And his life changed drastically. I mean, a broken arm, a severed, tendons and ligaments in his wrist, where they have to put that back together to see if your hand will ever work again. 2 broken femurs, and all kinds of lacerations and ligaments torn, and it's just, the list goes on and on. But it's really a sad thing to have happen, and very traumatizing if you're there. And Ridgway was there, and it wasn't a stranger, it was a friend, so that makes it way tough to deal with. And I'm amazed that he can get his shit together, could get past that, and then get on the road to clear the mind, and then let the body and bike do its thing. But sometimes when you're part of something so devastating, you can never get your shit organized in your head to do what you got to do and stay focused on this. So I could see that Ridgway has the skills, the bike, and to do, be up in the lead with this. But instead he had tragedy to deal with, and then he's adjusted well to it and doing great, still now. So I think that's pretty awesome. Let's see. Yeah, he is a great guy, and it's fun when you get to ride with people, your friends, and and when you're riding with your friends and you get a chance to hang out and share the same stories of that part of the journey when you were together. Because when you're with somebody to do this, it's really the only people you can truly talk about it with, where they grasp exactly what you're talking about. There's Taco and Rob there. They're going to have stories that'll last forever. And when they go home and they tell their wives about it, and kids in Taco's case, like, they'll be like, wow, and cool, and super neat. But Rob's the only one that's going to grasp it 100%. He'll be like, yeah, I remember that corner. Oh, yeah, I remember that storm. Or, oh, yeah, when we came around that corner and the deer ran across, or whatever it is. Like, that's the only people that really feel it like you feel it. They're your brothers and sisters in arms, so to speak. And I think that's pretty cool, and it's going to be fun to hear the stories from them. From my point of view, not having anything to do with the road, I can't wait to hear some of their stories, to feel that when you're not out there. Because before, I'd been part of the people on the road, so I want to feel what it's like to hear those stories when I really have to just picture it. I want to know what my wife has been feeling for 8 years, what my friends are thinking, when I tell them. They watch me on Tracker just like I'm doing, and now I tell them, like, oh, when I went through here, I had this happen and that happened, and I saw this, I saw that. So I can't wait for those same stories. I can't wait to sit down with Frosty and have a dinner and be like, tell me a story about, this or that, the other thing, so, oh, Value and I were doing this, and we were banging through here, and this happened, and I'll imagine it, but Value will be like, right there. It's going to just come right back to her memory, and she'll be watching like she's watching a screen. So I think that's really, really a great experience for people that are sharing that part of the road together and sharing their stories together. It's really going to be awesome. Somebody wants to check out Dad 1101. Oh, that is Ridgeway. That's your dad out there. You should be super proud of your dad. Who is that said that? Which kid is that? He's got, dang it, Ridgeway has 33 kids, 17 grandkids, and I'm only kidding. He has a fistful of kids, so I like to give him a hard time about that. How he's always doing it, but so that's really awesome. You should be really, really proud of your dad. Not only is he a badass dad and a really cool dude, he's a great rider and a good, solid guy. That was there for a friend. Oh, now it's starting to rain again, and now he's riding Kendall. And there's kind of a view of what they're seeing as they're ripping down. Except it's probably dark there. It's getting dark here, so I'm sure it's dark where he's at. So right about now, he's turning on his Denali lights and letting it go. Can the riders access their phone to look at weather? They don't want you to look at electronics and do that, but everybody looks at weather, and you're crazy not to look at weather. I mean, you got to have an idea that, if you're in a storm that's coming, and I didn't have a choice when I rode, I didn't have a choice to look at weather because you have your phone I had my phone right in front of me all the time, getting texts, do whatever. I'm pretty comfortable calling people and texting my wife or whatever, but I would get weather alerts that would come right over my phone, like storms in your area right now. So you have to look at that. So it's for their best safety. You're looking at weather. You got to pull up the radar and look at that weather. That's not a cheating. That's not anything. That's in interest of self-preservation. You got to look at the radar and know, like, is this going to just be rain, or is this going to be something that, holy shit, this is tornadoes. This is not you're out in the plains and an ass whooping storm hits up. You got to know if you got to get underneath the bridge or if you can just ride it out and take it. So yes, they can look at their phones and check their radar and know if they're going to be in harm's way. It would be, and if they could or they couldn't, everybody is, because nobody's going to ride into a storm and not look at their phone when they think their life could be in danger. I mean, that's just crazy in my mind. Yeah, your son is badass, Daniel. You raised a good one, so you should be proud. Awesome. I want to scroll back and make sure I'm not missing anything. Otherwise, I'm going to call it a night, get off this, check everybody out tomorrow. Now, take a look at where they're at. Let's see where the leaders are. So there is Dirty Dan and Nancy right there. And so kind of keep an eye on that. Alabama, straight north of Tuscaloosa. And then think about that when you get up in the morning and see how far they've gone. See what they're doing. Let's check on Dirty Dan. What kind of road he's on? Is it curvy? Not too bad. He'd be ripping around enjoying that. Yeah, I mean, this is a biker's dream come true right there. I mean, these are roads you dream about. When you go to bed at night and you're staring at your motorcycle, this is what you're dreaming about. So that's pretty awesome. He's going to rip down those roads, tearing it up. But remember where they're at tonight, and take a look at that tomorrow. Yost is down here, right on the border. He's tearing along, but remember, there is rain up here, up ahead. I don't know exactly where he's going, but there's rain coming east, and he's heading right into it. It could go north to him. Hard to say. All right. Where is everybody in? There's Pee Wee up here. And here comes Chrisman. We always got to keep an eye on Chrisman because he's always a little bit like, I'm over here, but he kind of like just far enough out of the picture. You're kind of thinking maybe I'll forget about him. And all of a sudden tomorrow he might be right behind somebody. So keep an eye on him. And here is the bear hunter up here, so that's great. I think we covered everybody. Not, it'll survive till tomorrow. Teeter, all right, right when I was gonna get out of here, somebody calls on my man Teeter. Teeter's one of my best friends out there tearing it up. I gotta hear about it. So can't wait to see his wife. There's Roadrunner. I know both these guys very well, and I know their wives, and I know their wives are very anxious for them to gotta make sure my truck doesn't shut off for the second time. Both their wives are very anxious for them to hit the finish line. So as I am, I have had enough of this stress. This watching shit is for the birds. It's much better to be on their end than on this end because it's not nearly as stressful as riding. I don't think there's any danger when I'm out riding. I think I'll make that corner. I'll make the next corner. Oh, look, I could do 80. Oh, look, I could do 90. Let's crank it up to 100. And I think there's no risk here at all. And I watch riders that I know are super good. Like, I don't think about anything, and I think, man, just come on, get through the night. So, man, I feel that stress. So that part sucks, gotta tell you. So anyhow, but it's all good. They're doing great. Everybody's doing excellent. We're gonna say goodnight by saying goodnight to my girl here. She is right here. I love her. Can't wait to give her a hug. She's a tiny little thing. That's Gypsy, and there's Subs, Mom and Boy, or Little Boy, Rider 1350. I don't know who that is at all. So must be somebody new. Is that a guy, girl? I don't even know. Saccone. But that's awesome. Everybody have a good night. We'll be on at noon tomorrow, and it's going to be noon where I'm at. I got more tires to put on tomorrow so I can continue on to Woodstock. I will be in Woodstock on Friday. We'll do both shows tomorrow from the road, noon and 7. And I look forward to seeing everybody on Friday that's at Woodstock. And if not, I'll see you through the screen. And if anybody wants to do that, join in, check in, do whatever, share this, talk about our heroes. Know that a bunch of people are doing this for others. They are doing this for charitable causes. And I think that's super, super badass. So with that, I'm out of here. I cannot wait to see my wife tomorrow. It seems like it's been forever. I'm looking forward to that. So with that, good night, everybody. Dirty Dan was going to pass. We'll see if Dirty Dan will pass her tonight or not. It's going to be a tight one. They're gonna be getting it on now. So hang on and keep watching. They're gonna pass each other like 8 times. One's gonna sleep pass. But it's gonna keep going. So good night, everybody. To my wife, I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. To everybody else, much love and respect. Peace.